Hey, Jonathan from Buffalo Modular, and we are here on set day of this home. Set day is always a very exciting day. You'll see behind me, if you can see from here, they've already set the 2 modules of this 2,100 square foot ranch home. The model specifically is the Limited Series 1.3, and as always with what pretty much everybody does, they made some modifications to the home to kind of make it their own, tweak some things in the floor plan, add and remove some windows, and kind of move some things around and stuff. And that's totally fine and well within the possibilities of things that you can do. But they actually left quite a bit as it comes as a standard for the home, which is going to be kind of nice to be able to see some of that and get a chance to see what is the starting point version of this home actually look like and translate to. So we'll get a chance to look through some of that. But what I wanted to talk about here is just kind of how this project came to be. So this particular owner has decided to take on directly the electric, the basement, and the garage. And so they're actually an electrician, so they're going to do that work themselves. And then they contracted through some other connections that they had, the basement and the garage, which is totally fine and well within their options to do so. But what they did with the rest of the project is they worked off of the contractors that we put them in contact with and helped them get the quotes for. So this is a normal part of our process. So if you were to get a quote from us, you'll see that it has the modular portion of the build at the top, and then at the bottom is typical contractor cost allocations. And so that's really where we start, is typical allocations based on the information that we have at that particular time. And then those numbers, as we start to get actual quotes, those numbers become real tangible numbers. And so the goal is always, obviously, those budgetary numbers are as close to where those final numbers come in to be as possible, so that when you decide to build you have pretty good understanding of the overall budget. But that's why we want to have these conversations and plan the build. So what this particular homeowner did is kind of took it as an a la carte sort of a experience, with taking on parts of it, but not all of it. So this became a really great option for them. They were in contact and are continuing to be in contact with all of the trades needed for the build, but some of them are their own and some of them are ours, and folks that we put them in contact with, which is a really great option to come in at the best price that you possibly can. So as I'm sure you know, different people have different experiences. So some folks that we build with are contractors themselves and are in the trades, and some folks know nothing about building, don't even know how to swing a hammer. All of that is totally fine. We can help you through the entire build from start to finish, but you will be in contact with all of those trades directly. We'll take a chance to walk through this house and look at how this kind of translated, how this came to be, so we can get a chance to see what the Limited Series 1.3 actually looks like in real life. And then maybe later on we'll actually come back through and do a follow-up video and see how it finished out. So we always love to do that. Doesn't always work out, but we love to do that when we can. So hopefully we'll get to do that here as well, because this is one of my favorite homes on our site, actually. So let's follow up and see how this home looks as a walkthrough. So you can see this is a 712 pitch, which I think looks really, really good on this house. Partially thinking about the size of the overall house, is about 68 foot long. So it's a lot of house. They're gonna do a front porch on this that's about 20 feet wide. So that'll span basically there to there. And so that'll help a lot, but it is still, I think that 712 adds quite a bit to the house, which is really nice. So we step in and we're immediately in this kind of foyer space. It's not a full-on foyer, right? Because it's not, there's not walls on either side of us. This is the, what those shelves look like. A lot of people ask about that. Hey, what are those things that it shows on there? And I say, well, it's shelves, and what exactly is that going to look like? Well, this is exactly what it looks like, right? So you got a coat closet right off the entrance, which is great, right? And then you got your dining room space here, which I like this a lot more than walking in through the living room, because I'm thinking about guests being over, and if guests are over, when other guests are arriving, those guests are going to be in the living room or in the kitchen. And so if it's cold, if it's winter, that way you're walking into the dining room space, so you're not opening the door and kind of getting everybody cold right away. It's kind of in the back of the house here. So let's walk through here. Here's their living room space. Nice and big. Triple window there. And then those shelves over there as well, right? Now these are temporary supports that'll come out here and here. Those will come out. So this will all be wide open. So here, let me pull back a little bit so you can see better, right? So this will all be wide open. And then you come around here through our dining room space. And there's the famous Jimmy. And we got some more temporary supports that'll come out as well, so this will all be wide open to itself. And then we walk into our kitchen space here. Now they decided to do on-site countertops, so there's no countertops in here. It's plumbed for the sink and that, and the dishwasher space and stuff, which is great. And then you got your electric for your range, future range hood. It even says that on the little label there. And then cabinets on either side here. This is a nice setup. I like this setup here. Fridge over here. Cabinets go all the way to the ceiling in here. And then a nice big drawer bank underneath our window. You could easily say, well, let's actually put the sink here so I can look at the, look out the back window. You can remodel this however we want to, and it's all fine. But what's interesting here is they did a little modification here. It's called, what is it called? A chef's kitchen, I think is what they call it. So there's the door off the back, full glass door, which I would highly recommend being a full glass door if you're gonna keep this door. Otherwise, maybe put a sliding glass door over here and shift these cabinets over. You could do that too. But this is what that chef's kitchen space looks like. So you get a big walk-in pantry, nice big pantry space. And then you get the cabinets over here as well to kind of, I don't know, you're gonna put, I don't know, microwave, crock pot, all that sort of stuff that's gonna take up countertop space. It gotta be in the way of prep space. You can dump it back here, and that's kind of an option for you, okay? They did a sheet vinyl throughout, okay? And so that's gonna mean that they're gonna have a transition strip that's gonna come in right here where the modules come together, okay? So the transition strip is nice and wide. It's similar to the size of the planks. Here they are right here. Here's the transition strips. So you can see they're nice and wide, and they cover that up pretty nicely, but it's not gonna be a dead-on match. It's not gonna look like, oh wow, we just continued the floor all the way through. It's not gonna look like that. You are gonna see it, but it's pretty low-key, which is nice. So if we come off the side here, here is where your garage door would be if you're gonna do an attached garage. You can see there is no attached garage here. They're gonna do a detached garage later. You got a little dump spot for keys and mail and all that kind of stuff, which is a great plan because otherwise it kind of sits in some random place and gets forgotten or gets lost. I got a little closet off of this for coats. And then this is a nice little setup here. You have a bench with cabinet space underneath it and the hooks above it. That's a nice little, take your shoes off sort of spot. And then you get this little space here. I forget what they're using this for. I want to say they're using it as an office space, if I'm not mistaken. There's a few different ideas for this that the factory proposes. I mean, ultimately you can use it however you want. It doesn't matter. You could use it as a coat closet and all sorts of things and stuff, but that's how they're using it. The thing I do really like that they decided to do is this bank of cabinets here. So if this wasn't here, okay, then that would mean that this space would be bigger, okay, just for clarity's sake. That space would be bigger, okay, because it would bump out all the way to here. I really like this a lot. I think that's going to be a tremendous value to them as homeowners. Just thinking about the way that I use my dining room space and being able to, put the big dishes while we're in the midst of eating so they're not taking over, table space. So then let's see here. So we come through. I'm finding a strategic way to walk through this house. Let's see. Okay, so then we transition to carpet here. Okay, they did a 7/12 pitch, like I said, which means that they can do a pull-down staircase. And we'll walk up that in a little bit here. But first I want to show you the bedrooms. One bedroom, bathroom between them, all standard finishes in the bathroom, other than they decided to go with an upgraded cabinet color. They went with a white instead of a stain, but otherwise everything is kind of standard in this bathroom. They even did the sheet vinyl for the floor. And then here is the other bedroom. So bedroom 2 and 3, closet over here. This is for the framing around the pull-down staircase. And then they have carpet that transitions from one spot to another, so that carpet just needs to be rolled back and seamed. So that'll be pretty easy for your carpet installer. And then this is something I really like about the limited series plans. They have this pocket door in here, which needs to be rehung. It fell off, you know. And then they have a washer dryer space here that's accessible from the hall. But it's also, which is great to me, it's accessible from the master closet. Okay, so we're in the master closet now. Certainly I'm gonna pull back so you can see this better. Okay. And then here is the master bedroom. Pretty big bedroom. 2 windows in here. You could easily make some changes there. Maybe you want to move the windows over here instead. They're probably going to put the bed there and do it that way. And then we go into our master bathroom. You got another closet space in here, a little pantry closet, right? Which is nice. Linens and that sort of thing. Linens, I guess, not pantry. You probably wouldn't keep your food in there. Probably keep your food in the kitchen, not in the bathroom. Just a heads up. Most people would keep their food in the kitchen, not in the bathroom, but maybe some snacks. Linen closet, and then you get another bench in here to be able to sit down. And then you have a single vanity here. You could easily do a double vanity here. I personally would vote for the single vanity and increase my countertop space. Light over that. They opted to do no mirrors. You could do the mirrors from the factory. They have some frame mirrors that are pretty nice, but if you wanted something big or whatever, that's another option for you as well. So here is a 3x5 shower, which is what the space allows for, and they did a tile for this. There's a couple different options of what you can do. You could do an insert in here. You could do the tile, obviously, and you could also do what's called Cortec, which is really similar to like a vinyl plank almost in terms of its the nature of how it works and that. And then they got a pan base in here. Could have done a tile base, I suppose. They did a pan base. We get a lot of people that would prefer the pan base just from a cleaning standpoint. Sometimes tile can be a bit obnoxious to clean. And so we come back through. I want to show you the upstairs space there. Partially because it's open and it's cool. Oh, this is also coming out in case that wasn't obvious. This is the temporary support that will come out. And so let's go up. Oh. So here is what the 712 space looks like. Okay, a lot of storage space up here. A lot of available storage space up here. So you can see they're gonna put the rest of the roof on here momentarily. They got it all craned up into place. They just need to get the guys up here to do it. Subfloor is up here as well, which is nice. So that's all, you know, basically a big unfinished storage attic, essentially. It's great. Hey, hope this is helpful to you as you're considering your building project, thinking about what you might want to do. Again, this is a 2,100 square foot ranch home, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, with a 712 pitch, which allows for a storage attic space, and you can see that's pretty big up there. But again, 2,100 square feet, even without that storage attic, even if you went to a 512 pitch, which would not be a storage attic, 2,100 square feet means 4,200 square feet of space. That's a lot of house. So it gives a lot of future potential for how you use your space. And then obviously we get a lot of folks that have a sloped lot that could potentially do a walkout. And man, that's gonna be an amazing space down there to be able to finish the basement off with some bedrooms and living room space and bathroom and all that sort of thing. Maybe do an in-law suite sort of setup down there. All sorts of things are an option to you. But hope this video is helpful to you as you're considering your building project, thinking about the options that are available to you, thinking about what our involvement looks like, thinking about what the limited series looks like, what a 712 pitch looks like, all those sorts of things. Lots of things to think about and consider. So hope this has been helpful to you as you're thinking about what you're gonna do. Feel free to reach out to us. Leave a comment below if you got questions or concerns or something you love or don't like or whatever it might be. Just reach out. We'd love to chat with you about what you're thinking about and to help you process what you might be doing for your building project. Thanks again.